Hi everyone, today we're going to read Once There Was a Raindrop by Judith Anderson and Mike Gordon. Once there was a raindrop. What you guys see on the cover of this book? I see two children, maybe they're two children. I see that they're under a big, huge umbrella. Why do you think they're under an umbrella and why do you think they need one? Maybe because it's raining. I see raindrops falling from the sky. I see many raindrops falling from the sky. And what do you see? And I see a puddle. And I see that they're wearing rain boots and raincoats. So I think this book might be about rain. Let's see. Let's read and find out. Once there was a raindrop. It's raining. Rain is made up of lots of tiny drops of water. So look, it's raining. And they're saying that rain is made of many tiny drops of water. So look, it's raining. And the boy's saying, whoa, look at all that rain. Look at all that rain falling from the sky. And look, some people do not have an umbrella. They didn't watch the weather. So they were not prepared for all the rain. So look, this girl over here is holding a bag over her head. This guy over here, he's trying to cover himself with his hands. But over here, this mom and child have a big umbrella. They're protected from all the rain. Look, there's lots of rain falling from the sky. And look, here the boy and the girl, they're looking at the rain falling from their windows. So they're looking at all the rain slowly falling from their windows. My teacher says each raindrop is part of the water cycle. What's a water cycle? Let's find out. Woof. So the teacher is saying that each drop of rain is part of the water cycle. The water cycle is how we get rain. So the rain falls from the sky, then it goes up, and that's how the cycle is. So rain is part of the water cycle. So look, the teacher drew a cloud and rain falling from the cloud. And look, here we see the boy and the girl, and I think they're getting ready to go outside. And look, we see rain outside the window. So it must be raining outside. So what do the children need to go out in the rain? Can they just go out with sneakers? No, their sneakers are going to get all wet. They need rain boots and a raincoat and a rain hat to protect themselves from the rain so they don't get all wet. So they're getting ready to go outside. And in school, they were learning about water and the water cycle. When a raindrop falls to the ground, it sinks into the earth and makes it wet and muddy. Or it stays on the surface and forms puddles. So they're saying that when it rains, either the raindrop sinks into the earth, it makes it wet and muddy. So if it rains a lot, look how much it's raining. All that rain could go down into the earth and make it all wet. Look, it's all wet. Look at this was grass and there was so much rain that puddles formed. So look, the puddles are beginning to form and it's making the ground all wet and muddy. It's making it all wet and muddy from all the rain. Or sometimes the water stays on the surface on top. It doesn't go into the ground. So look, here the puddles are staying on top of the surface, on top of the grass. So look, it's not muddy. So the kids are playing in the puddles. Do you guys enjoy playing in the puddles? Do you like when it rains? What do you guys do when you go outside and it rains? This water flows into drains and streams, or it drops underground. Woof! So this rain, it rained here, and this rain goes down the drains. It goes down the street drains. Look, it's going down the drains. Because if the drain was in there, all the rainwater would stay up there, and it would create a huge puddle. So look at this, the drain is here and all the water is going down the drain. Look, it's going down the drain. And look, or it goes underground. Look, it's going underground. The drains and streams flow into lakes and oceans. So look, there we see the oceans, we see lakes. So it's saying that the drains and streams flow into lakes. So the drains, the water from the drains and the lakes flow in, and the streams flow into the lakes. So that's how this water is formed. And then there's the ocean. But that's not the end of the story. The sun warms the surface of the ocean. The warmer water turns into water vapor, which rises into the air. This is called evaporation. You can't see water vapor, but it is all around us in the air. It's cold down here. It's warm up here. So look, it's saying that the hot rays of the sun warms the surface. So we said the surface means on top, the top part of the ocean. So the sun, so basically the sun warms the top of the ocean, the surface, and the water turns into water vapor, meaning the water starts to rise up and go up into the sky. We don't see it, but it's happening. As the water heats, it goes up into the sky. It evaporates. Evaporation. It's called evaporation. So look, and we see the boy and the girl, they're enjoying themselves playing in the water. So look, you could play in the water when you go to the pool or when you go to the ocean, the beach. You could play with the water. That's how your wet clothes get dry. And that's where the water in the bird's bath has gone. It was full yesterday. So look, that's what happens when you put your wet clothes out to dry. The water evaporates. It goes up into the sky. And also in bird baths, there might be water one day, and then the next day you're gonna wake up and there might not be any water, because that water evaporates. That means it goes into the sky, and then the water's no longer there anymore. So that could happen when you dry up clothes, when you put the clothes up to dry, or in, let's say, a bird bath. When water goes away, it evaporates. Same thing when it rains outside, then the next day you don't see any water on the streets. The water evaporates. It goes into the sky. It evaporates. The water vapor rises high into the sky. As it gets higher, it cools down. The cool air turns the water vapor back into tiny droplets of water. These tiny droplets form clouds. The same thing happens to the water vapor in your breath on a cold day. Brr, look. So basically, so what happens is, so the water vapor rises, and we said it goes into the sky, so the water goes up, it evaporates, it goes up into the sky, and then in the sky it cools down. That water cools down and turns the water vapor back into tiny droplets of water, and these tiny droplets form clouds. So those water droplets, they go up into the sky, they cool down, and then they make clouds. They create clouds. So look. And here, they're all together. I wonder where they're going. Do you think they're gonna go play in the snow? Same thing happens when snow melts. There's snow, then it melts, and then we see water, and then that water evaporates and it goes up into the sky where it cools down, and then clouds begin to form. And it also said the same thing happens to the water vapor in your breath on a cold day. When it's cold outside, you see your breath, and that also evaporates. It goes into the sky. The droplets of water in the clouds get bigger and heavier. When they become too heavy to stay in the clouds, they fall as rain. Not again. So basically what happens is that the droplets of water in the clouds get bigger and heavier. So all the droplets that are collected up in the clouds start to become heavier and heavier and heavier. And it can't hold all that water. So what do you think happens when the cloud cannot hold all that water? Yes, it begins to rain because the cloud cannot hold on to all that water. So then it begins to rain. So look, we have big dark clouds. So before it begins to rain, we see dark clouds up in the sky. And that tells us that it's gonna rain soon. So look at all this rain, and then their puddles form, and then that water evaporates, and the cycle continues. If the air is really cold, the droplets freeze and fall as snowflakes or hailstones. So it says that when the air is really cold, the droplets freeze and fall as snowflakes. So sometimes the droplets freeze because it's very, very cold outside, and it starts to snow. So look, it starts to snow, or hail. Hail are like little balls. And look, ouch, they can hurt you if they're really big. Hail can hurt you. So look, sometimes it could be rain, but the droplets, if it's really cold, it could turn into snow, and that's how we get snow. Sometimes too much rain falls. Sometimes not enough rain falls. We mustn't waste water. No swimming today. So there's days where it's always raining. It's raining nonstop. It's constantly raining. But then there's other times where there is a drought. That means there's not enough rain. So that means we have to conserve water. That means we have to save water. That means if we're not using the water in the sink when we finish washing your hands, we have to close the sink. That means we can't take a long showers because we're gonna waste water. We have to make quick showers Remember to always close your sink so there's no dripping water, so we can conserve water, because sometimes it doesn't rain for a long time and we need to save water. And sometimes, look, it's always raining, especially now that it's going to become spring. It will always rain, but sometimes in the summer it doesn't rain as often. So look, so much rain. And sometimes the rainfall is just right. So sometimes it's raining just the right amount. It's not raining too much and it's not raining too little. And look, once all the rain is gone, look what forms into the sky. Many colors. We see many colors because that's a rainbow. That's rain. So once it's done raining, we see rainbows in the sky. Every drop of water on our planet is recycled over and over again. That's why it is called the water cycle. So look, the same thing constantly happens. It rains, then the water evaporates, it goes up into the sky, then those droplets form, cool down, they form clouds, and then the clouds become too heavy, and then it starts to rain again. So that is the water cycle, and we constantly have water. Look, and that's the water cycle. And then when it rains, we have water to take a bath. We have water to wash our hands. So water is very important. The end.